Alright guys, so a little update about me. Now the title is correct. I have left my full-time position as a software salesman. So I was working about 40 to 50 hours a week as a software salesman in Tampa, Florida, and I no longer do that anymore. Some of you may already know, but the full-time job was just not the end-all be-all for me. It's always been part of my dream to own my own business, doing something that I love. So while I was working that full-time job, I had also started an aquarium maintenance business. I've always been into aquariums and it's just always been something that I love, so I started that business, devoted a small portion of my time really in my spare time to actually building it, and it just grew faster and more than I could have ever thought. And I got so busy where I got to the point where I was just like, why am I still at this job when I could devote all my effort into building this business and just do this full time? So that's what I'm doing. It's good news. I quit my job. I'm one step closer to sailing the world with Randy, because eventually when we build this business to be at a point where it's a little more self-sustainable, we start hiring people, we can step away for longer periods of time and let it manage itself, let someone manage it for us and us work on it remotely while we cruise the world. And that's really the end game here. I can't give you guys a time frame because we really don't have a time frame, but we're just doing everything we possibly can to get there. Now, if you're new to the channel, I am on our boat named Freebie, which is actually a boat that we got for free on Craigslist, and we are refitting her. So we ended up motoring her about 300 nautical miles from Titusville to St. Petersburg, and now she sits here in her berth in St. Pete, where we're gonna start the refit. More information about Freebie can be found in our previous videos, but for the sake of today, the goal is tearing stuff apart. Randy is actually at work because it's Friday and she still works as a teacher, but I am out here today and I'm gonna devote some time to really just getting this boat as stripped as possible to make it easier to work on. What I mean by stripping this boat as much as possible is just getting rid of stuff that's kind of just in the way and broken. So that bimini's broken, that old radar pole we're never gonna use for anything, that VHF antenna is stupid because the VHF antenna should be on the mast, so we're gonna remove that. I don't know what the heck that thing does. We don't need an outboard mount. Just stuff like that is just kind of in the way in there and is either broken or not functional. Now, the fun's not gonna stop on deck, it's gonna be down below as well. Now, anything down here that's broken, in the way, or we just don't want on the boat, I'm gonna be removing as well. I don't have too much time today, so I'm gonna try to work as quickly as I can. And tomorrow, Randy and I will both be out here because it'll be Saturday, and we'll most likely be finishing up what I didn't get done today. Now, if you watched my last video, you can see how the new stairs fit in place. Now, obviously, you can really tell that they're crooked. And that's really because the actual countertop right there is crooked and some of the supporting structure might be crooked as well. So we kind of knew that coming in, but like I said in the last video, temporary. This is temporary. And if I didn't say it enough, this is temporary. So I have no idea what this antenna does. The thing I do know is that we're not going to use it. One of the crazy things is that wiring goes down into this deck fitting here, and there's just a wide open hole that just goes directly down below. And that's not a scupper of any kind. The scupper's actually forward of this. The scupper's clogged, so guess what just gets full of water whenever it rains? I did end up clearing off the stern a decent amount. I did leave the little outboard mount there because I decided, you know what, we're probably going to end up using it down the road if we get a small little outboard. And then I did leave that radar pole there because that's going to be a two-man job. Going to need someone down below to hold the bolts while we remove it. Obviously, as well, got the Dodger and Bimini off. Those were just old and didn't really work very well, so those were probably the biggest things that were in the way. I want you to take a look at this undersized CQR anchor and just know that something much better is going to replace it very soon. Alright guys, I'm packing it up. I have kind of a networking event to go to tonight, so I'm going to be leaving it this way, and Randy and I will be coming back to the boat tomorrow. And I did end up getting a decent amount of stuff taken off the boat, just like all the little doodads and whatnot that were just doing nothing. I'm walking over to the starboard side of the boat because I want to give you an idea visually about what our plans for the cockpit are going to be in the future. We're going to do a new Dodger and then a radar arch with an integrated Bimini and davit system for the solar panels. So that's the plan, and I think the cockpit's set up pretty well for that. And I can't wait to start doing it. Now, it's always fun to just come up with ideas like that, and it's definitely where we want to go in the future, but the immediate projects are going to be obviously what we're doing today and tomorrow, just really kind of getting rid of everything that's excess on the boat. But we're immediately going to go into rebedding the port lights, either replacing them or kind of refurbishing them. We haven't really decided that yet. And then we want to paint the deck with Kiwi grip. And obviously, I mentioned the anchor. We're going to be replacing our anchor too. That's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. That thing is a lifesaver in this incredibly warm winter day in Florida. What's up, guys? It's the next morning. It's Saturday morning. Obviously, Randy's here, and we're smiling a ton because one of our commenters told us we don't smile enough. So I'm just showing you we're capable of smiling. So some of the other commenters believe Randy here is my girlfriend, and I'm here to say that we've actually been married for 5 years. 5 years. We've been together for 9 years, high school sweethearts, so we are a real couple. I swear it. So now we're gonna dive into some of the serious stuff, and I'm gonna go down into the engine compartment and show you something that we noticed while we were motoring past few times. What is that? I'm talking about this priming bulb right here. This you normally see on gasoline engines. I've never seen one on a diesel. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm kind of asking you guys a question here. Have you ever seen one of these on a diesel? But I believe that this should not be here. What's been happening is we've been having engine surging issues. So we'll be up at like 2,000 RPMs, and then the engine will just go down to like 500 RPMs, and then it'll just go back up to 2,000 RPMs. And every time that starts happening, I come down here and that bulb right there is sucked flat. And it's starving the engine of fuel. And I believe that's the issue. So what I'm going to be doing today, along with Randy cleaning the boat, and I'll be cleaning the boat too, is replacing this fuel line with just a standard straight fuel line. As you can see, the boat's kind of messy, but we're going to get it all nice and straightened up. On the list of goals for today as well is replacing that CQR anchor I mentioned yesterday. And that's probably going to be the last thing we do. Ooh,
have you shown them our anchor yet?
I haven't shown them the anchor yet, so got something special. Got something special. Off to West Marine. God. Alrighty, so now we have a new straight fuel line going directly from the fuel tank down into the Raycor. No more bulb, and hopefully this fixes our surging issue.
It's like the engine's revving like it needs to. He's definitely testing it at different levels, so that's good. Seems like it might have worked. Hey guys, so we were cleaning the boat and we wanted to take a quick peek at the water tank because we recently watched Sailboat Stories episode where they replaced the water tank lid and refinished the inside of their water tank. They also have an Endeavour 32 just like us. We actually reached out to Ben prior to getting this boat to see and ask him questions about if he liked the model and things like that, which he does, which is awesome. So we went ahead and took a peek at the water tank lid, and it seems like the previous owner beat us to the punch and they replaced it, and they just did such an awesome job.
I sense a little bit of sarcasm there.
Maybe.
Let's take a look at what our water tank looks like. This is our V-berth without the cushions down. And as you can see, there's basically a painted plywood board where the water tank lid should be. It just does not look like a professional job at all. Let's take a look inside. Looks like there's like some stuff growing in there. So I think what we need to do is basically exactly what Ben already did to his Endeavour 32. And if you guys haven't watched Sailboat Story, I'm going to put a link to them in the description. Check them out. If you like our channel, you'll probably like them as well.
Yeah.
We're excited to say that Mantas Anchors was kind enough to sponsor our vlogs and actually provide this 35-pound anchor for our boat for free. Now, they make an anchor that is modular in design and meant to be used for all bottom types. You can see here it comes in 3 pieces and is bolted together, which makes it easy to store away as a backup anchor or storm anchor. Obviously, it can be used as your main anchor, as we're going to use it as well. Once we start using the anchor, we're going to give our honest review for you guys. Also, a link to Mantas will be in the description below.
That's a fit, but wants to fall forward. Here we're having some trouble with the actual anchor staying on the bow roller right here. So we're gonna have to figure that out and troubleshoot it. It essentially it doesn't want to actually stay on the roller on its own. It needs something to hold it. So I think we're gonna have to install like some kind of clip that clips the chain down, or maybe potentially another anchor roller. I know Mantas makes their own custom anchor roller that fits their anchors, so we might end up just replacing both dual anchor rollers and just putting one Mantas roller on there. So we'll see how it goes. For now, we're just gonna kind of lash it down until we can do a more permanent fix. Alright guys, that about wraps up today, and now I know nothing we did today or really yesterday was really that glamorous, but that's really what this channel is all about. It's about the day-to-day of owning a boat and taking steps to sailing the world. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of work, and we want to bring you with us, and we're glad to have you here. So, you know, hopefully one day we'll be doing those glamorous ocean passages that some of the other channels might be doing, but right now this is us, and we're glad to have you guys.
As always, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a like or leave a comment down below. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe.
Thanks guys. So I'm finishing up the editing of today's video, and I've got one last thing to do, and that's to announce the winner of last week's Best Disc Comment competition. So a lot of you commented, and a lot of them were really funny and made me laugh, but my favorite was one by Jack Film. He said that Ryobi is in fact the correct tools to use when you're employing your dining room as a wood shop. I like that one a lot because it had the best of both worlds. It made fun of me and it made fun of the tools, and it was just simple and funny. So congratulations, Jack Film. When we come out with our Learning Alliance t-shirts, just shoot us an email and we'll send you a free one. Thanks everyone for participating.
I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire and let it go.